Welcome eco-friendly viewers to Planet Earth, our loving home on Supreme Master Television. Today we feature part 2 of the World City Water Forum 2009, held from August the 18th to 21st in Incheon, South Korea. Over 5,000 participants gathered for this important event of the theme Innovation and Harmony of Water and Cities. The conference was sponsored by the organizing committee of the World City Water Forum, the Korea Water Forum and the Incheon Regional Environmental Technology Development Center, with support from various South Korean government agencies. Prominent scientists, key government leaders, academics and youth delegates from 50 countries gathered to discuss vital topics such as global warming's effects on water supplies, climate change adaptation through rainwater harvesting, global increases in floods and droughts, groundwater management and water pollution. The esteemed speakers included His Excellency Abisai Ilemir, Prime Minister of the Republic of Tuvalu, His Excellency Anote Tong, President of the Republic of Kiribati, the former Prime Minister of Japan, His Excellency Yoshiro Mori, and His Excellency South Korean Prime Minister Dr. Hong Sang-soo. During the forum, Prime Minister Ilemir made a presentation on water issues and the effects of climate change on small island nations such as Tuvalu, which consists of 9 coral atolls and is located in the South Pacific, midway between Australia and Hawaii, USA.
Mr. Chairman, delegates, participants, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. It is an honor and privilege for me to be here today to address this August gathering on the occasion of this World City Water Forum. I would like to take this opportunity to extend my most sincere gratitude and heartfelt appreciation to our host, the government people of South Korea and Incheon City, for the invitation, the warm welcome, and overwhelming hospitality that my delegation and I have been accorded since our arrival yesterday. Water is undeniably a basic necessity of life, and our presence here today is no doubt a tribute to its significance and importance to each and every one of us, and especially to the people we serve. This meeting will certainly be deliberating on water-related problems caused by water pollution, climate change, and urban development, but most importantly, it will attempt to come up with appropriate and practical measures and solutions solve these problems. Apparently, it will not be an easy task because we come from a diversity of geographical locations where water sources, abundance, water needs, and problems differ greatly. However, our demands and needs for accessible, affordable, fresh and safe water remain the same everywhere and irrespective of the diverse locations we come from. Access to water is a basic human right. We as entrusted authorities responsible for water provision and services in our respective countries should always keep in mind when discharging our duties. I am sure that you agree with me that we should, at all costs, continue to strive and to ensure that our respective peoples are provided with adequate, fresh and safe water. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, continues to report that expected climatic changes will stimulate an increase in extreme weather patterns that include higher temperatures, increased number of hot days, more intense rainfall over some areas, increased droughts in others, and an increased frequency and severity of cyclones and hurricanes.
Because much of Tuvalu is only about a metre above sea level, and since 1993, the ocean surrounding the nation has been rising at the rate of nearly 6 millimetres per year. In 2000, the Tuvalu government asked that Australia and New Zealand provide permanent homes for its citizens through a migration program. Due to climate change, the people of Tuvalu are dealing with saltwater intrusions that are ruining coconut palm plantations and affecting cultivation of a staple crop called swamp taro. Once pure drinking water, supplies are now fouled. In the lowest lying areas, non-evaporation pools of salt water are forming. Without action by the world, Tuvalu may be the first nation on Earth to disappear due to the effects of global warming.
Although global climate predictions are being made through advanced models, the uncertainty over the expected climate changes for small islands like Tuvalu is hampering an adequate response. Low-scale levels of climate forecasts are preventing reliable predictions. However, the expected increase in climatic extremes should provide sufficient incentives to no-regrets approaches dealing with floods and droughts. Although the contribution of small island countries to greenhouse gas emissions is globally insignificant and rank amongst the lowest in the world, the islands face arguably the heaviest and most immediate burden of climate change, such as sea storm surges and sea level rise, affecting the low-lying atoll islands in the Pacific and other parts of the world as well. Unless something is done soon, the severe water problems across the Pacific and other regions will considerably worsen under the influence of climate change.
When we return, we will feature excerpts from a press conference with His Excellency Prime Minister Abisai Ielemir at the World City Water Forum. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
Hi, Supreme Master Television, please save the water of the planet.
Hello, I'm from Philippines. I'm calling all the citizens and adults to take care of our rivers. Thank you.
Welcome back to Planet Earth, our loving home. Our program today focuses on the World City Water Forum 2009 held in Incheon, South Korea from August 18th to 21st. One topic discussed extensively at the gathering was the interaction of global warming and water. The effects of climate change can be seen all across the globe, with floods, droughts and melting glaciers having become the norm. Some of the workshop topics at the event included the effects on water from global warming, advanced strategies for water-related disasters, and aquatic ecosystem restoration. His Excellency Prime Minister Abisai Ielemir of the Republic of Tuvalu was one of the forum's distinguished speakers. During a press conference, he discussed climate change and his nation's future.
The message that I want to give to the international community, the governments of the industrialized countries and their leaders, is that the decisions have to be made now rather than waiting for the next day, because the impact of the greenhouse emissions from the various countries are slowly killing our people back in Tuvalu and other small low-lying atolls. Our islands are just 1 meter above sea level, and when there is a strong wind together with hurricane or cyclones, the sea will normally go onto the islands and reaches a lot of places inland where the sea does not normally reach in the past. So the message I wanted to convey to the leaders and the decision makers in the industrialized countries or the developed and the developing countries is for them to think of human beings who are living on the small islands like Tuvalu and other countries who are low-lying. We have to fight this climate change problem and sea level rising and try our best to cope with the problem and stay in our country forever. And our strategy is to go out into the international arena and talk about the gas emissions by the developing and developed countries to cut them down so that the problem can be stopped. Because we want to live in our country and we do not want to be like environmental refugees to be relocated to other countries.
During his address to forum delegates, Prime Minister Iele Mir reported on the progress his nation is making on its global warming action plan.
I am happy to inform this forum that Tuvalu has officially announced its vision that it will become 100% dependent on clean energy by 2020. Tuvalu's energy policy clearly reflects this vision. This is particularly focused on electricity generation. The vision was due to a continuous concern on the effects of global warming on our very existence. Tuvalu's annual carbon emissions may be insignificant compared to the highest emitters, but a little saved is always better than nothing. We will certainly need financial support to fulfill this vision, and Tuvalu also looks forward to inspiring the rest of the world come the Copenhagen meeting later this year.
Finally, Prime Minister Iele Mir called on all states to reach a substantive agreement on halting global warming at the United Nations Climate Change Conference to be held in Copenhagen, Denmark this December.
This year is a very significant one for climate change, as it is hoped that nations will agree on a new legally binding agreement on climate change in Copenhagen. Even though we may have different approaches in our mitigation and adaptation measures to the adverse impacts of climate change, the problems are real and are happening to all of us right now. As responsible leaders of the world, I believe that every one of us understands the complexity that has been created by our human-related activities. As one of the frontline small island states to face the full impact of climate change and its far-reaching consequences on our livelihood and our very existence and sovereignty on the face of this globe, this is basically the price we pay if this global problem cannot be addressed. This is Tuvalu's call for leaders of the region and beyond. Leaders of the world, countries developed or developing, that we must work together to make Copenhagen's outcome a truly meaningful one.
We applaud His Excellency Prime Minister Abisai Ielemir for asking that all nations work together right now on the vital issues of water conservation and climate change. May his vision for the world come to quick fruition. Thank you, virtuous viewers, for joining us for this edition of Planet Earth, Our Loving Home. Coming up next is enlightening entertainment after noteworthy news. May heaven bless our world with compassion and peace.
Be red, go green, save the planet!
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/PE.